Welcome to this week's Nintendo video. In today's video, we're going to be one, doing it on a Tuesday, which is really weird, and two, discussing a brand new game that's just been announced for the Switch. Although it has been on Steam for a while, it's a lot of fun, and it is Thea the Awakening, and it's coming to the Nintendo Switch on February the 1st. The game, which has accumulated thousands of positive reviews on Steam over the last few years, is a fascinating addition to the Switch's rising number of strategy games, and I think it's quite different to a lot of the other strategy and management games we've got on the system as of now. However, to just refer to this game as strategy is doing it a serious disservice. Instead, this indie game has a much bigger focus on survival and role-playing, two things I quite enjoy in these kind of games. You're going to have to get to know and interact with, form attachments to as well, your people. If you've been watching my Civilization playthrough, you'll have realised I'm not very keen on losing units, it upsets me greatly, but in this game this goes to a whole new level. Each one of your people will be totally unique and therefore almost impossible to totally replace if they die. People might be similar, but they all develop in a different way, so from what I've been watching, this is quite interesting, getting to know your characters, getting to really they're all going to be their own person, all have their own strengths, so I'm very much looking forward to that. The game itself is based on Slavic myth, and the world in which the game takes place, Thea, is set after the apocalyptic force known only as the Darkness, which engulfed the world. You need to guide your starving survivors through the darkness and keep them alive, so as I've been saying, it's very much a survival game. Now, I didn't know how to kind of get everything into this video, this discussion video for today's this week's Nintendo video, and to discuss everything in the game. I didn't know how to do that, so I've made a list of things that are in the game, and I'm going to give a few thoughts and some run through them all just to give you an idea. So, the game, first of all, is turn-based strategy. So when you're thinking about what type of strategy game it is turn-based. It's like Civilization and many other games in that way, that it's turn-based. There's also a huge world to explore, which I'm very interested to see how that works. So yeah, a huge world, always a bonus. One of the things I'm really looking forward to doing, and something that makes me think it is sort of in a different way, but like a lot of other management games, you need to manage your village with there's a variety of structures to build, upgrades and technologies to discover, and items to craft. So it's very much that sort of strategy of managing things, prioritising research and things like that. I very much enjoy that in games. And there's thousands of items that you can either craft in your village, as we've just been discussing, or you can actually gather them in the world outside of your village. However, when you're gathering, you need to think about, well, if we can't make them ourselves right now, we need to be very careful with the resource we've just found, because if we can't use them at this stage, but there's also other items you can gather and use, as I'm sure we'll talk more about when we discuss the game further. There's expeditions in which each member carries his or her gear and gains experience in battle, improving abilities including collecting resources, diplomacy, healing, black magic, and dozens more. So there's lots of areas you can develop your characters in. These expeditions, from what I've watched of the game so far, and I've been watching it for the last few days, are very interesting. You take your people out, you're gathering resources, you might run into a few battles and things. So and you've got to choose who you put in your party, so it's very nice to decide who's going, who's staying in the village, things like that. There's also lots and lots of non-linear story events that can grant you riches or deprive you of all your goods, including your characters' lives, which is scary. Every game is randomized and different, so these events are random. They're not all going to appear in your game, they might appear differently, so they are going to all have a unique effect when they appear. And there's lots and lots of them to actually affect, so you are going to see a few of them over and over again after you've played the game for a long time, but there is a lot to get into there. By the way, all these points I've been going through recently are from kind of things I've read on the game, and the Steam page has a list and things like that. So the battle system in this game is an exciting card battle system that can be resolved by combat, diplomacy, curses and more. I don't want to talk too much about the battle system. I've not played the game really yet, although I have got a key, so big thank you for that. So I'll be playing that and bringing you content when this comes out. But this is certainly something that I will go through when the game is released if you are interested, and I've got a better grasp of it, because I think it's one of the more different elements of this game, the card battle style thing. There's also 100 different types of deadly creatures, many inspired by Slavic mythology, which has got me thinking, could we possibly very briefly discuss some Slavic mythology as we go through? Who knows? Additionally, there are lots of creatures. Each creature, even in a swarm of spiders, for example, has its own skill and stats, so there's lots of diverse enemies to get yourself fighting and to probably run away from in my case sometimes, because spiders are scary. There's also a day and night cycle, and it influences gameplay, which is nice. So it's not just kind of on Civ we have a day and night cycle sometimes, but obviously it doesn't really make that much difference. But in this game, villagers can better recognize threats from afar during the day, and creatures become more aggressive at night. So there are a few nice changes there. And finally, on the points I've got here, so there's multiple game endings depending on your choices. I love this in this style of game. I really do like being able to affect your people and their destiny, really. And there's rewards which can be unlocked and can be carried over to your next playthrough, which is really nice as well. So, what I will say is, this is not going to be for everybody on the channel, and I'm hoping there'll be some people here who haven't watched my other stuff. But if this game looks like the kind of thing you'd enjoy, then be sure to follow our coverage on it on the channel, before and after release obviously. The people behind the game, like I said, have been incredibly kind in providing us with a key, so and I do like the look of the game. I'm very excited for it, so yeah, there's going to be plenty of it on the channel. So my two favourite types of games, really, if I think about it, are kind of role-playing games, which this is one, and strategy. So to combine the two is something I'm really looking forward to diving into. Now, you don't necessarily have to buy the game. I encourage you to, if you do enjoy what you see, obviously have a look at it. But if you just want to follow our story on here on our channel and covering it, then it'd be great if you could just get involved in it. There's plenty of naming of characters, decisions to be made. So very much like the War Council we've got on Civ 6, I'll be throwing lots of decisions out there, and obviously for advice as well. The final thing to say on the game is that it's currently available for pre-purchase on the eShop. It's about £15, but if you do pre-order, you can get 10% off the game right now. And if you do own any other games published by Monster Couch, you can save 15% as well. So I just thought, because they were kind enough to give me a key, I should probably mention that as well. This won't be for everybody, so I appreciate that. Civilization will be back later, but thank you very much for watching this video. Please do like and subscribe if you're excited for this game, and leave your thoughts on it. What do you think? How much should we cover it on the channel? Things like that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video soon.